and this is on.
So you're not going to change your shirt?
Not right now.
Oh.
I feel like this is more appropriate for
Okay.
us talking about veterans and stuff. Don't you think? Kind of.
Fuck the police.
That,
I'm just kidding.
That's not.
I'm so kidding. I love the cops.
Yeah.
I get arrested when I leave here.
Well, I don't have any connection to the police down here.
I do. Man, every one of them's great.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you're cool with cops, man, it doesn't matter like who you are, what you're doing. If you're cool with cops, if you get pulled over and you're just chilling and you already have everything prepped, so you're not having to move and dig when they get up to the window.
Right.
You already got you got pulled over. Keep your shit together. You know you're gonna get pulled over, so keep everything together. Have it to them. Put your hands up. If you're scared, put your hands up. Let them know.
Yeah.
Like when I get pulled over, I hand them my military ID, my driver's license, registration, insurance, and my gun permit, and I say, hey, I got a gun in here. And when they say where, I say everywhere. and they're like, well, keep your hands on the wheel. Perfect. I keep my hands up the whole time.
Yeah.
And I had one cop one time like make me hold him outside the window.
Yeah.
And I was okay with it, but like my son in the back was like, are you in trouble, Dad? I was like, no, son, it's for his protection. So.
Well, that's the thing. When I was a cop and people told me they had a gun in the car, I said, good for you. I appreciate you exercising your Second Amendment right. I also have a gun. Guns make people treat each other better.
Yeah.
But I never cared that sort of thing. Like, yeah, cool.
In the military, they tell you like they literally like anything your parents done to raise you in the 18 years of your raising, or like me, 17 years, and then I went to the military when I was 17. All that raising my parents did. You go to boot camp, and they're like, I don't like it. Even down to like how to react when you get pulled over by a police officer. Everything I learned in the military is how I act today. So, when they say, hey, you get pulled over, that's what they want you to do. They want you to hand that information over.
They do.
And they want you to tell them, hey, I have a gun. And we were told by local PD that, like, that's what you guys want to hear. If you have it, we want to know about it. So.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. But generally, the people who are going to tell you they have a gun are not the criminals. Generally. Which is good.
That's why I do it. I get away with it. A lot of shit.
Yeah. No, but I've never had one problem with anybody having a gun in my career who was a law-abiding citizen. Some cops get freaked out, but I'm like, dude, if they have a CCW, they've gone through the courses, or even if they're just constitutional carrying, completely fine with it. I'm very pro-gun. I'm pro-constitutional rights. The criminals have one. Other people should have one too. If they are responsible individuals, if they are following the law.
True.
Yeah.
Can you put one logo there and one logo there?
No,
it's different.
Dude, I don't have it like that. I'm trying to get to like Win Mortgage levels of studio.
Yeah, Apple Gang.
Well, I don't like Apple. I like Android and I like Windows stuff. Let me do an intro because we just started talking. Yeah.
Be Nice Individuals Podcast.
Hey folks, this is Thaddeus and we got Steven Schwarmer in the house. We are on the Be Nice Individuals Podcast, which is hosted here at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio. We are going to be talking today about Operation 22, how Steven's getting out there and making an impact for veterans. You know, it's a serious problem in the United States. Our veterans go off to war, and that war lives on when they come back. Operation 22 is an organization that is dedicated to helping veterans with their mental health, to lower that suicide rate, hopefully to get it to zero. You know, 22 veterans, what is it? Is it a day or?
So, yeah, when we started Operation 22, it was 22 veterans a day. They say the averages went up now.
Oh.
So, not good. Yeah. But, you know, over a 22-year war that we had, you know, in Iraq and Afghanistan, about 7,000 of our soldiers and troops and sailors were killed in action. And, you know, when you look at that 22-year span, same soldiers, troops, and sailors, 140,000 have committed suicide
That's crazy.
due to mental health. And,
Yeah.
just, survivor's guilt,
Mhm.
not feeling, battling with PTSD, battling with trauma from the war. Some of them probably battling with childhood trauma and just, can't get over military trauma made it worse. So, Operation 22 got together, a group of guys got together, and we just wanted to help veterans. We were all veterans ourselves. We all battled with PTSD or some form of depression, and wanted to be the men that could be vulnerable and jump out and change the world.
Yeah, and that's important, dude, because there's still a good chunk of the population that doesn't believe mental health issues are real. They think it's just in the mind, like, hey, just stop, be better. And I think that's more damaging to the people that are struggling with those issues. When they have people that aren't supportive, that don't understand. I don't know, just my personal opinion, because I have gone through some of those same issues. So I resonate with your organization. Police don't have numbers nearly as high, but more police officers kill themselves than any line of duty deaths per year. Their suicide is always higher, which people don't think about.
I mean, you guys go through a lot too. You guys see people, you're having to pull people out of cars, get in the wrecks. You're having to, sometimes you guys get in the gunfights too. You guys are judged. You guys are prejudged before you get into any situation in the world. So
yeah, so I had a hard time with that because I was judged twice. So I was judged first as a cop and then as a black man. So I did not have it easy.
I didn't even notice, dude.
No, were you thinking I was gonna say that?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I knew you were gonna say that, but I was saying I didn't even notice you were black. So.
Well, there you go, though. No, but dude, it was weird. Like on protest lines, you're not just a cop. Now you got to be a black cop too, who's an Uncle Tom. It's like, dude.
Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law's an Uncle Tom, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody calls him. He's probably one of the greatest dudes in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Philip Hector. He's an awesome dude. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like far from Uncle Tom, man. We get into some heated discussions about politics sometimes, and
Yeah.
but he's there for my sister. He's there for my niece, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the greatest dudes in the world. And he tells me all the time, like, I just hate being profiled, and I hate that you guys have to go through that.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody experiences that to some degree, but your decision on how you're going to impact the world, be it law enforcement, be it military, that shouldn't be just who you are, like labels, right? Or being black, being born black, that's part of who you are, but there's so much more. This is a shell. We both share the same spiritual beliefs. This is a shell. This is how God has put you into this world. And, you are a combination of experiences, beliefs, all kinds of things. But that's not it. There's much more to you. Maybe I was meant to be black, obviously.
I mean, it's not a choice. You don't get to choose your color. You don't
Well,
get to choose your.
That's not true. Didn't somebody choose their color not too long ago? What was that?
I'm not talking about politics on here, dude. Stop. Well, are you talking about Michael Jackson, dude? All right, let's go to that.
No. There was that one chick that was like in the NAACP. You remember that?
Oh,
Those
yeah.
Yeah, she was black for a little bit.
Man, listen. Do what you want. You can identify as whatever you want.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I'm too worried about my family,
That's
the
true.
growth of my children,
Yeah,
the
man.
growth of, the people I work with in Operation 22,
Yeah.
the growth of the mortgage company we work with. Like, I'm worried about personal growth. And I realized when I stopped worrying about, all the other stuff, and I silence the nonsense in my life, that's when you start to grow. And sometimes it still happens, like,
Right.
drama just seems to follow people sometimes, and, it gets stuck into you, and you're like, oh man, I don't want to deal with that. Or you have people that just don't want to see you succeed. So
That's true.
people will literally devote their life to try and ruin yours sometimes. You just gotta block those people out. Let them know that it's not worth it.
Dude, that is one of the things that I've been focused on the most lately, is just being drama free. Because drama is out there, but if you can just live in peace with others, I believe that's what the Bible says. Be peacemakers.
Mm-hmm.
Let people be about that life if they want to, but that's not what it's about. It's about having peace. Operation 22 is obviously part of that. Tell us more about how it started. And this is like got us right back on track.
Yeah.
You see how I did that?
So Operation 22 started. I was working with another nonprofit, and we wanted to focus on this certain idea, the mental health part, the veterans that suffered with suicide, and the route that the other one was going wasn't directly how we wanted to help veterans.
Sure.
So it was before Christmas. I just told the person, hey, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be your executive director, but I can't agree with what you're doing. I'm going to go a different route.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
I called up, a couple of buddies of mine, and I was like, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. And, at first, everybody's gung-ho. They're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's jump onto it. Well, when I do stuff, dude, I jump in, deep in first.
Yeah.
I'm going to swim out. If not, I'm going to die trying. And
Yeah.
I love pressure, man. Put me on pressure, man. We're going to finish it.
Yeah.
And so I battled with mental health. I battled with suicide. And in 2010, I tried to take my own life after leaving the military. And, well, actually, taking my own life led to me leaving the military, if we're being honest there. But
Right.
I remember that feeling, of being lost, the survivor's guilt, worrying that I wasn't enough, battling with the trauma of being a man. And I had to be a man at an early age. I didn't have the best childhood growing up. I was forced to be an adult real quick. Joined the military when I was 17. And being introduced to some of this stuff at a young age is something that I couldn't cope with, because I'd already had so much childhood trauma. Then going straight to the military and dealing with that trauma too. It just wasn't a good mixture. And so I get out. My life spirals out of control for a little bit. I'm dealing with, I could call it alcoholism now, but back then I just thought I was partying and having fun.
Yeah. It's like part of the culture sometimes, even for like law enforcement.
Yeah.
It's kind of laughed about. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go home and get drunk. But it just is accepted in that specific sphere. And I'm sure it was in the military.
It was. Yeah, I mean, literally every weekend at NAS Jacksonville, man, I think there was a crazy rager party. Yeah, it was like every weekend was like a big party, and and then Monday, where you're popping yourself on the IV, and then you're going to go work out. You're back to PT. You're back to working as what you're doing in the Navy again, and you just go through like these trials and tribulations of like. This is well while you're there, I'll be honest, while you're there, your life is so scheduled, it's hard to even have time to feel depressed.
Right.
It's when you're getting ready to get out, things like that, then stuff starts spiraling for you. And then when I got out, my life just went kind of crazy. And my wife was trying to tell me, hey, straighten up or I'm gonna leave you. Straighten up or I'm gonna leave you. Straighten up or I'm gonna leave you. And then my anger got so bad, and she was like, listen, last chance, anger management or I'm done. You're a scary dude. And I was like, all right. So I went to anger management. I went to this place called Celebrate Recovery. Celebrate Recovery is a Christian-based anger management thing. I didn't know it was, but I had this neighbor that was like super gung-ho Bible thumper, and I was like, yeah, dude, whatever. I don't have to pay for this one. Cool. 'Cause the other one I had to pay for. Sure, I'll go do the Jesus anger management real quick. Let's go. And then seriously, they nicknamed it Jam, Jesus anger management. And
Jam.
like, yeah, let's go to Jam. And I'm like,
Speaking of them, real quick, they're going to be coming on at some point to shout out that organization. So, Celebrate Recovery. See you soon.
Yeah. So. Celebrate Recovery was big for me because you walk in and everybody has something. Like there's gambling addicts, porn addicts, there's drug addicts, like Narcotics Anonymous, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, and we're all just in there together. And like, I would go in there and I'd be like, man, I ain't got none of those problems.
Right.
Well, in fact, I did. I was doing drugs. I was doing like drinking all the time.
Yeah.
I was addicted to sex, I guess, and I was battling with some of these these personal emotions, and I thought the root of it was just anger, but
Right.
then I learned that anger is just fear and sadness. So
Really?
then I had to figure out. Yeah, I mean, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ben starts running out in the middle of the road, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you yell?
Stop. Something along that. What are you doing? Stop.
That's not what you yell.
No.
No. But you scream, stop, get back.
Yeah.
Why are you angry?
Because he knows better.
No, because you're scared that your son's gonna get hurt.
Oh, that too. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So you lose somebody, right? And then you go through, a battle. You go through, the loss of someone. You're only mad because you're sad. And as men, like, we revert to anger because anger is easier.
Yeah, it is.
And it's quicker to just pull that trigger because you don't want to show people you're not a man if you cry. You're not a man if you don't talk about it, right?
Sure.
And that's what we were raised on. 80s babies and beyond. Yeah, right. We were raised be a man, suck it up, and so that's what I dealt with for a long time. That's with anger management and stuff. I learned that I was either scared or sad. So then I tried to dissect that all the time, and then I was like, man, I'm a sissy, bro. I was always sad. I was just sad because I had a failing family. I was sad because I left the military. I was sad because I lost friends. I was sad because I tried to take my own life. I was sad because I didn't know if I was enough because, all I wanted to do was drink and party and have a good time. And then my wife was like, hey, let's get away. So we moved to this random spot in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I met my now best friend, brother, Eric Agnos.
Shout out to Eric.
Eric, he's the godfather of my kids. I forgot. Yeah, you guys know each other.
Yeah.
He godfather of my kids. I'm the godfather to his.
That's nice.
And they moved to Florida when I moved to Florida. I mean, that's how close our families are.
That's dope.
And so from there, I found God, and I knew that I had a purpose. I knew that I survived that suicide attempt where I put a gun in my mouth. I pulled the trigger. The round never went off. Right? I keep that bullet as a reminder. But I know now that I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
And so when Operation 22 came to fruition, I'm jumping in head first. I want to help people. Now, my problem when I go jump in head first is that I forget that I have bills to pay. I forget that I have a wife to make happy.
Yeah.
I forget that I have kids that are more important than anything in this world.
Sure.
So, there was some, structure issues, and when you start a nonprofit, it's not easy. Right. So, and it happened so fast, because, we're blessed. We get our 501c3, and then we go and get, the EIN number, and we're like, all right, we're legit.
Yeah.
Well, I just found out recently that, as a nonprofit, you're soliciting for money. You need a license for that.
You need a license.
Yeah, so I didn't know that. So I just
it's
figured
cheap,
it out.
I assume, right?
Yeah, it's very cheap.
Like
so,
$25 or something.
It's like $10.
Oh, that's nice.
But I'm getting penalized because I didn't have it. So luckily, one of the ladies at the state, I told her the story, told her what Operation 22 is, told her we didn't know what it was, and she just educated me. Made me take a course, and then now I had to get the license for it. So now we're legit again.
Nice.
So you battle some of that stuff because you just don't know, and and then that's obviously added stress onto your plate.
Sure.
And we're obviously we got a lot of big things coming for Operation 22 and what we're doing coming up this month. The family and I we're leaving, so I got to make sure that all the administrative part is taken care of. The guys I originally started with, they went on to go do something else. One of them's in politics, so he didn't want his name tied to it. He's helping somebody on his campaign right now and doesn't want to be tied to it because we're gonna have donators that are Democratic or Republican or Libertarian, so we don't want to.
You don't want to isolate anybody.
Right,
Yeah.
We want everybody to feel like they're welcome.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that we share love, we share vulnerability, and we try and help veterans in the coolest way possible.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Let me jump in here. So, first off, you said you keep that bullet. So, I've heard this story before. I've always wondered, though, and I don't know if this is desensitive, or is that a word? Desensitive?
Yeah.
It is, but have you ever thought about making it into like a necklace?
No, I want to make it into acrylic. Like I want to pour acrylic around it. I thought about making it into a necklace, but
yeah,
I think the round could potentially go off if somebody has
Take
to
the
drill
gunpowder
into it.
out.
Yeah. So I didn't.
Wait, can't you like separate the round from the thing and get the gunpowder out,
Yeah, I guess you could.
and then like do some type of epoxy in the shell casing itself to keep that round now in place? And
I probably could.
Mm.
The
But
idea
acrylic
was,
is-
the idea was
yeah.
to do like an acrylic case, you know.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, I've thought about different ways to keep it outside of just having a loose bullet in my safe.
Yeah,
So-
because dude, like I've since the first time I heard that, I'm like, you don't want to lose that. And acrylic, is it? Tell me what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like.
So you could have it made in, either like a square form. you
Okay.
know, so you could do like a little 3x4 rectangle or something like that,
Mhm.
and just put it in there, and it'd be just like a block that would sit like on your desk, or
Mhm.
your dresser or something like that.
Yeah.
The necklace is a cool idea. I just I don't know. I kind of I keep it as a reminder. Like every morning, like
Mhm.
I can see it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
almost, man. And then I think about everybody else. We just recently lost a soldier this weekend, and I went on like a 30-minute live rant about it, and trying to get people to understand, like, this is why we do it. We do it because of there are still people out there doing it, and this guy's actually close. My organization was supposed to help him that weekend.
Oh no.
Yeah, so my son had a soccer tournament. He was playing soccer, and they went a little further than we wanted to, or not that we wanted to. I hope my son makes it all the time. But
No. I completely understand what you're saying. You didn't necessarily expect him to make it into the finals or whatever,
Right.
and so it kind of changed some of your time schedule.
yeah, so I had to call him. Hey, can we do it on Sunday? He's
Mhm.
like, yeah, absolutely. So it's just one day. Well, then Sunday comes and it's pouring rain, dude.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, we're not gonna be able to go fishing. So I call him. I said, dude, Friday looks great, which would have been last Friday. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great day. I was like, man, let's do it Friday. Well, Monday I get a call from the wife.
Mhm.
Hey, I know you in, I'm not gonna say his name. They asked to keep it private, but you and so, we're gonna go fishing. Don't worry about it. He took his own life,
Mhm.
and it struck a nerve in me, man.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I don't need to be told it's not my fault. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's still gonna be on my heart.
Sure.
Like, what if I had more people involved in Operation 22? I could have just called somebody and said, hey, can you get with this veteran? Can you take him fishing? Can you listen to a story?
Yeah.
Can you help him just until I can get to him next?
Sure.
If I had more people involved instead of trying to take on everything by myself,
Right.
we wouldn't have lost that guy. His wife, told me, I met her in St. Augustine at a networking event, and she goes, she said the same thing to me that you said to me.
Mm.
I don't talk about my story, and my husband's never gonna open up to you.
Yeah.
He doesn't open. He doesn't open up to me. I was like, I don't know. I got this weird gift from God, baby. I'm batting 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to open up.
Sure.
And sure enough, I meet up with him. I'm like, hey, you want to go have coffee? Coffee turned into lunch, because we were talking so much.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just shut up and listen. Let that man get out what he wants to get out.
Right.
And sometimes with different veterans, you gotta go at it different. They're like, this particular guy. I start telling my story. Start talking about some friends and some deployments and stuff like that. Next thing you know, this dude is like, yeah, man, that happened to me. And so listen, and then then I just went. I asked him a question. I was like, okay, so you were in Afghanistan. And he was like, yeah. So, I was in this area. I did X, Y, Z. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm just listening. But I'm like intrigued in his story. And I care about what he's got to say. He might not share that with you. He might not. He definitely didn't share it with his wife.
Yeah.
And he might not share it with, anybody else. But he's going to share it with a veteran who
right.
had a similar story.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why I think Operation 22 is important. And there's tons of organizations out there to help. The difference between us and them is, if you look in our bylaws, that we post online, and if you look at our bank account that we post on our website, we're very transparent. And I've made it very clear. I will never take a single penny from Operation 22. I'm doing this purely volunteer based. As a matter of fact, I donate money to it. I lose money having it.
Yeah.
But I love doing it. I love seeing a veteran change his life.
Yeah.
I love seeing somebody who didn't get the proper exit from the military, doesn't know what they want to do with their life, helping them structure and find out what they want to do. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any of the guidance. It took me years to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed, like in my personal life, I have a great life.
Mm-hmm.
But that all just, happened here recently, from years and years of hard work. If I can give you the formula as soon as you get out and help you from there, I would love to do it.
Yeah.
So I've tried doing the TAPS class, which is like a civilian transition class.
Mm-hmm.
We just got approval to do that up at NAS Jacksonville. So I'm pumped about that because I think that early guidance helps a lot of veterans.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm just thinking about myself. Like when I left law enforcement, it wasn't like, I'll say this. It's like cop, no longer cop, and then people don't talk to you the same way because you're no longer the cop. And it was even like that with me, dude. When people resigned or got fired or whatever, it's like, oh, he ain't a cop no more.
Not the same.
It's not the same.
You're always a veteran.
Yeah. You're just the ex-cop over here,
Yeah. And that sucks. That sucks because you guys, you guys get a bad rep for the bad few. Out of 100 cops, 10 of them are bad.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And you guys get the bad rep for that. But I've got so many good cops in my life. There's a lot here in Flagler County that are just great dudes. And, everybody hates them until you need them.
That's right. And a lot of them are veterans, too.
Oh, tons of them.
Yeah.
So, I've tried to creep in and help out, Flagler County Sheriff's Office when I could.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough market to get into helping cops, man. There's a lot of the veterans that go into law enforcement, they get this pride stigma where they still got to be tough and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, and I hope that this doesn't hurt your podcast at all, but if you hold that shit in, you ain't no man.
Yeah.
You're not tough. Like people look at me and you all the time because we got nice physiques, nice builds, and they're like, oh yeah, those guys are tough. Nah. What was tough is when me and you did that live on my podcast, and then you opened up about the stuff that was bothering you for the first time, and you did it live.
Yeah.
Not knowing that that's what you were going to walk into.
Right.
That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Showing vulnerability is tough. Being a man and giving your weakness out, that's tough. I mean, when you go back biblically, right? You look at Samson,
Mm-hmm.
cut my hair. Boom. She cuts his hair, and then he's weak, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then he gave his word, gave his faith up, gave it to God. Next thing you know, without the hair, the man's still tearing down buildings.
Right.
You don't have weaknesses.
That's true.
You have a way to produce strength.
Yeah.
And your story can help somebody else. And so I've shared my story 1,000 times. And I think the best part about my organization versus some of the others is that I can name the people I've helped. Unfortunately, it's hard to just name people because, that stuff's private. Some of it's HIPAA violation,
Sure.
Like their mental health and things like that. You can't put that stuff out. So
Sure.
I will say that we do have some testimonies that are about to go up on the website.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where some people were like, hey man, I don't care. Tell my story.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put some of those up. It's a blessing to hear some of that. Like I said, sometimes your story is gonna help somebody else.
Right.
And some of the stuff that you dealt with in Ferguson, you're gonna be able to help somebody one day.
That's true.
If you're not already doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I feel like, and this is kind of a step back when I was talking about a lot of police officers or veterans, maybe it's easier for a person when they leave the military, if they're no longer associated with that, to open up. But say they go and they're now a police officer, now they got to still be the tough person in that situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what you're
they don't
saying,
wanna-
break into.
Yeah.
Like that.
There's that stigma that where if you you talk about your depression, you're going to lose your job because you're not fit for duty.
Sure.
And yeah, that stigma's there, but who cares, dude? Your life is way more important than that.
Yeah.
Than that job. There are other jobs out there. There are jobs, I promise you. This man left law enforcement. He's had a couple jobs since. I mean, it's just, there are jobs out there.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. That might have been your dream. You've helped people. If it's starting to mess with your mental, it's time to get out. It's time to, life's short.
Life is short.
Tomorrow's not promised, dude. You got to be happy today.
Right.
So, we wake up at our house and we play that Forrest Frank song, Good Day, all the time. And it's a good way to start the day, man.
Yeah.
This morning, I had to get on to the kids because, I get done working out and I walk in the house, my eyes twitching from the pre-workout.
Wait, you have pre-workout over there now?
No, now.
Because I was like,
now I have post-workout.
It's too late for that.
No. I had pre-workout now that I got L-carnitine and some protein.
So that's beta-alanine or something over there that you're coming down from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The twitches.
Now my eyes doing the twitch, but I come in from the garage and my kids are playing PlayStation. I'm like, dude, and obviously we're homeschool our kids. I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, all right? You have your chores, you get breakfast, and then we do schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
That's our routine. And I tell my kids, chores aren't punishment. Don't make your kids do chores as a punishment.
Right.
Chores, you do that, then they never want to do it. When they grow up, they become like lazy slobs.
Right.
It's a way of life. You have to maintain your house. You have to keep your house clean. You have to keep your house together. The only way to do that is if everybody works together. We have 6 people in our family, so
Right.
everybody's got a chore. And it might be as small as picking up stuff on the floor. It might be as small as taking out trash. It might be as big as scrubbing the baseboards. Nobody wants to do that. But
Right.
if you do it as a punishment instead of, hey, we're doing this as a family, or hey, we have to do this. This is your list of stuff to do today.
Mm-hmm.
You knock out your stuff. I don't care if it takes my kids 1 hour to do school.
Mhm.
If you get it done, go have fun for the rest of the day.
Right.
That's what I love about homeschooling. It takes if my kids focus, 1 hour.
Yeah.
And if they slack off, 3 hours.
Yeah.
But if, like, my oldest woke up this morning, he was working out at 5:55. He went running after he worked out. He came in, he washed the dishes, he made some eggs on his own, and then he started doing schoolwork. I was like, man, that was awesome.
You felt proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had my 2 middle kids that were sitting on the couch arguing over who's playing PlayStation. So I had to go over. I'm like, ain't nobody playing PlayStation. Yank the controller out of their hand and pull the cord out. And like, hey, we have to do our stuff, guys. And then I turn on Good Day. I'm like, come on, let's have a good day. And
That's dope.
the song starts playing, and I hug on to them, let them know I love them, and then I'm like, all right, I have to go do my work. You guys do your work here, and we'll get back together early afternoon. We'll go do something fun if everything's done.
I've heard that before with homeschooling. You're not the first person to tell me that. It's like when you remove a lot of the fluff,
Mm-hmm.
school doesn't take nearly as long as 8 hours or whatever. When you pull out you get the concentrated dose, like boom. But I've never done it, but it sounds like that to be true. I've heard that multiple times now.
Yeah. In a school, there's a lot of repetitivity because there's 20 kids in there to one teacher, sometimes 30 kids to a teacher.
Sure.
Right. And then when you have, like one parent to 4 kids, it's a lot better. Or, now the oldest kid, he just kind of does his on his own.
Mm-hmm.
They do like this scriptive course, like right before.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes in and he does a lesson. And then we'll throw extra stuff at him and he knocks it out on his own. It's
Nice.
Homeschooling couldn't be easier.
Yeah.
I mean, when you send your kid off to school, you got to take them to school, sit in the line.
Mm-hmm.
Once you drop them off, they got to go in, they eat, which takes, 30 minutes. And they go to class. Like you said, there's a lot of fluff. There's your hellos, Pledge of Allegiance, which I think all that stuff is great and great.
Sure.
And then they go into school. And
Right.
then the teacher talks. And then they do worksheets. And then the teacher walks around and checks on everybody.
Right.
Okay, guys, put your pencils away. Next subject. And then she talks some more. So it's a lot of wasted time. And I'm not saying that teachers are invaluable by any means, because my wife was a teacher. And
Oh, she was?
Yep. Yeah, Brittany was a teacher, so I got so much respect for teachers.
No wonder it's so easy for you guys to transition over to homeschooling. You didn't tell me you have a ringer with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little blessed on that, man. Brittany,
Yeah.
Brittany is. She's more than just Queen Bee, man. She's everything, man. She's the best husband and wife anybody could ever have. Like,
Yeah, you told me that,
some-
man.
something-
That's so cool.
something happens in the house, like if I can lift it, I lift it. But she fixes like 90% of everything.
That's cool.
You know, we haven't had to do much. She does some electrical stuff on her own. Like
That's cool.
she is very intelligent when it comes to that.
That's cool.
She's very hot. She's great teacher,
Mhm.
awesome mom. She's good at real estate. I mean,
But she's girly too, though.
Very girly.
That's the thing, like, because when you're describing her, like, because she's handy. Obviously, I've never seen any of like her in action. I've seen some of her work when it comes to woodwork. Shout out to Brittany. She does like charcuterie boards and stuff like that. Is that
cutting
right?
boards, charcuterie boards.
But every time I've seen her, she's girly.
She's building a custom farmhouse table for an order right now.
Dude.
She's done like seated benches with storage underneath.
Mm-hmm.
She's built shelves. One day I came home and like we have a bright home, and when you walk inside the house, to the left there's a flex room, and then it opens up into the living room, and then the kitchen's open to everything, and then to the left there's this pantry that's it's kind of small, you know, but behind the pantry is like you go in, it's like a mud room. And then in that mud room is another thing, and we're like, man, we could really, with 4 boys, we could really use that space as a pantry. I wish Bright Homes didn't do this. I said that, and then I came home, and Brittany was like, well, you said it, so I did it. Like,
She knocked out a wall.
I come home to home. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, what are you doing?
Well, see, that's your fault though,
Yeah.
man.
And then you know, I cry about it a lot because she's like, and when I say cry, I just mean like whine. Because I hate living in a construction area. Since we bought our house 5 years ago, it's been a construction area ever since. From like Brittany working on something, she changes the design of our home every single day. And then not only does she change the design, but she starts adding stuff like, oh, hey, let's get a pool. let's get let's add this wood shop. Let's change the garage around. I don't like the way the floor plan is. Let's turn this flex room to a bedroom.
Yeah.
Now let's turn it back to an office. Like, you know, it's just constant construction, and I just want to live in my house. But
She's a creative though, dude.
she's very
That's
creative. And she does such a good job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm mad while she's doing the project, but when it's done, I'm like, dang,
Yeah, man.
you're awesome.
Yeah. That's truly a creative's mind. And she's doing it with wood and whatever else, electrical. But that's her gift. That's her, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody has a certain gift. I think it was Michael Granum. It was definitely Michael Granum. He talks about how even though there's billions of people in this world, he said you have 3 specific talents that are unique to you. It's very interesting. But he said no one in the world has those specific 3. Obviously, that's one of her 3. That's just cool. Love it.
I gotta find my 3.
What do you mean you gotta find your 3?
I don't know what they are. Picking up heavy things, putting down heavy things,
No!
and talking.
Yeah, well, definitely connecting with people and putting people at ease. That's a skill. Not a lot of people have that. You know, I got to think about myself and my previous career. That's a trait that's essential with like detective work. Because when you get somebody in the interrogation room,
Make them snitch.
well, not that. They just have to feel comfortable,
Yeah.
you know? And
You think I would be a good cop or bad cop?
I think you would be a good detective.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you can
Did you
get
hear that, Rick Staley?
if you could get people to open up and be vulnerable, where they don't feel like they have to put out this false image of what it really was or whatever like that, I think that's most of interrogation. Just getting people to be comfortable, relax, because they expect you to judge them. They do. Like when I was interviewing the guy that got pegged, he expected me to have a reaction to that. What?
Was not expecting that story to get on this podcast.
Well, see, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't judge him. I'm like, look, dude, it happened.
Yeah.
And when I said that to him, he was able to open up about other stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, you want to talk about Win Mortgage?
Let's talk about Win Mortgage, man.
All right, let's break this. Hey, folks. It's been fantastic having Stephen Schwarmer on the Be Nice Individuals podcast, which is hosted here at the Flagler Voice podcast studio, talking about Operation 22. Folks, definitely make sure you reach out to Stephen.
Can I tell him what I'm doing before we get off here?
Yeah, I'll cut this and go ahead.
Okay. So I think our next big move, and we've talked about it a lot here lately, and people are asking me about it ever since I posted that we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, oh, I thought you left, or hey, when are you leaving? So I want to just make it super clear now that we're going to be leaving Thanksgiving week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go do Thanksgiving with my brother, and then we're leaving.
Mm-hmm.
But my wife and I have decided to take our family, go on the road. We're going to help a veteran in every single stop that we have.
That's cool.
We're going to take our kids to all the national parks. We're going to take Operation 22 and just try and stretch it all the way across the U.S. And it's taken on a lot because as far as volunteers, we're starting to get some more people that have said that they wanted to come on and help. And that's great. I'm going to start utilizing people a lot more often. I've realized that, I can't do everything myself.
Yeah.
So we were given this wonderful blessing. We found a beautiful camper that we wanted. And since Brittany is so good at all that creative woodworking, we bought a camper that she could tear apart and then completely rebuild. And so on our Operation 22 website, there's a link to the YouTube so you can follow what we're going to be doing. We're already done with most of the camper now. We're like 90% done.
Yeah.
But we have, we're letting the videos out kind of slowly so we can kind of like trickle in some audience before,
That's cool.
People start seeing it.
Yeah.
But we're going to document this entire adventure so that when we come back, we can build up a pretty good YouTube following and potentially get some revenue for that. Or find donors from that, because we have a goal. We want to get 1,000 people to just give $10 a month, so that we can afford to do what we do with veterans. We take them deep sea fishing, golfing. We take them out to have a great event, but then we really get them to open up. We help them. We stay with them through their mental health, and then we put them with people that can truly help them outside. And just so you know, I'm going to be reaching out, taking some psychology classes and things like that, because I want to help on that next level as well. So our adventure to travel around in an RV was it started off as my idea, but then it really led on. Brittany really took aim with it, and I'm so blessed to have her always have my back. And this was just going to be a family vacation at first, and she knows how important Operation 22 is to me, and it's really important to her too. And I love that she cares about me enough to want to do that, because now she's the backbone behind it. Right? I'm the mouth that gets to talk about it, but it's really not without all of her help that we're doing this. And we're going to go help veterans in every single state. But this first journey, we're going to be gone for 2 months. And we're going to come back mid-January, and then I leave for a mission trip. Then we're going to stay home for a little while, and then we're going to leave for another extended period of time.
That's so cool.
And I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to share the results of what we're doing. I can't wait to share some of these stories with you guys. I hope y'all can be a part of it. If you guys can follow, it's youtube.com at Operation 22. We got a lot of cool stuff, or go to operation22.com and follow us there. So
now with Operation 22, the website, they can find the YouTube and everything there, and into your Facebook, your other social media.
Yep, it's right on the landing page. As soon as you go to operation22.com, it's going to show whatever video is premiering at that time. And it'll circulate different videos, but it'll take you to our YouTube page so people can see that, follow it, subscribe. It costs no money to watch our videos. It costs no money to like it, and no money to comment on it. So tell your friends and family about it. If you can't afford to donate $10 a month, do me a favor and just subscribe. You don't even have to watch the videos. Subscribe, like it. I don't care what you do. Just help us spread awareness. Everyone thinks that all these nonprofits are always about money. you've seen me do it, and it ain't about money. It's about helping people.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff does take money, but I've put plenty of my own personal money in here to make this thing run the way that it's running right now, and I could continue to do it. But it would be nice to have some help. So it'll help even if you just share and get our videos out there. And if you know veterans, I think that's the most important thing I can say on your podcast before I get out of here is if you know a veteran that is in need of help but is refusing to reach out, let me know. Reach out to me. I put my personal phone number on our website, 386-627-6400. I want to hear from you. And if I can't mesh with a person and I can't gel with them, we have other people in our organization. You know, if I get a feel for this person's personality, I can be like, oh, okay, well, this person's better for them than I am.
Yeah.
You know, we just got to get people to talk.
Right.
And that's something that I'm really good at. So I hope you guys can follow us on our journey. Hope you guys can send me people so I can help. If you know people across the United States and different states, different veterans, let me know. I'll stop and try and help them. Yeah. And you guys can catch it on YouTube later.
That's awesome. Well, brother, this studio is going to be helping you in your journey. I'm going to be breaking this video up into reels and any way that I can to help get the word out. But folks out there, people that are watching this, think about also supporting with money. You know, $10 a month isn't that much money, but it's sharing the load. That's really what it comes down to, because if one person's holding a boat, it's a heavy boat. You know, yeah. David Goggins is someone that I like his motivational things. Who's going to carry the boats? Whatever. If you know David Goggins, that's the person I'm talking about, right? But if you have 2 people, if you have 3 people, if you have 4 or 5, 6 people, the more people, the lighter something is. So consider supporting this mission to help stop veteran suicide. Because truly the war doesn't stop just when they're off the battlefield. I can appreciate and understand that. You know, the war still continues in the mind. You know, it's no longer just a physical location. Now it's part of their consciousness as they go day to day through their activities, their life. Maybe it's affecting their family. And so consider helping this mission. So again, this has been Thaddeus and Stephen Schwarmer here at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio and the Be Nice Individuals podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.